What's up, financial hacks? So in today's video, we're going to be going over losing your job, using your tech job, using a layoff. We're actually reacting to this video here that kind of goes over this. Pretty much, if you guys don't know already, there was a big influx of jobs in the tech sphere post COVID. And then I guess they had too many people at these jobs and they didn't necessarily need all these people. So then they started, doing mass layoffs everywhere. And a lot of people are in a real grind right now, I guess, so to speak. But we're going to be reacting to this video. I'm going to kind of give my thoughts on this. I believe this video has some AI. I want to say they're talking about this as well, how AI is taking some jobs, but we will see. So let's go ahead and start this video.
Google's #1 again this year. It was #1 last year and the year before. And Google has everything: free food everywhere, a Wi-Fi enabled free shuttle. They have horseshoe pits, volleyball courts, street hockey, pools.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's nice. That's nice. I've been hearing about all these tech jobs having all this in the office. So it's cool that they actually do have a lot, at least at Google, Amazon, and Microsoft.
Netflix is letting new parents take as much time off as they need during the first year of their child's birth or adoption.
Salesforce has mindfulness areas designed with help from monks. Airbnb gives employees a $2,000 travel stipend. Music discovery platform Pandora even pays for its workers to have gender affirmation surgery.
Let's pause here. It's not only big names like Google, Apple, and Amazon that enticed workers with these perks. Smaller tech startups were also offering workers outlandish extras, everything from performance-based prizes to an endless supply of company-branded swag.
Top performers every month for the New York office get an actual custom oil canvas painting.
So if you pop it, actually reveals a secret room. We have meetings in here, do poker, and maybe even close a deal, have a shot.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I like how they can get lit at the job. I haven't really seen that jobs like today. I think one job interview I had, they kind of talked about that on Fridays. Everybody get beer and whatnot, but I haven't really heard that in regular jobs nowadays. I remember my mom was talking about back in her day, back working, how they could, you could just drink up in the office, even with a boss and whatnot. So it's crazy how things have changed there, but let's continue.
Out of whiskey or something.
Here is a must-come spot for anybody who comes to New Relic. It's where we have all our swag, all our New Relic pride. And the great thing is you can just come and grab whatever you want.
Well, that was the 2010s. This is how tech companies are grabbing headlines these days.
The layoffs in technology just keep coming. The latest, Google cutting hundreds of jobs in its engineering, product, and hardware divisions.
So this is the latest round of layoffs we are hearing about in tech today. It's two fintech companies, Block and PayPal.
Microsoft cutting almost 2,000 jobs at Activision Blizzard and Xbox as the tech landscape resets.
Layoffs in the tech industry surged in 2023, sparked by high interest rates and a pivot to generative AI. The pace of layoffs in the tech industry has persisted well into 2024. Workers who were laid off now see this industry in a different way.
When you work for a big tech company, you had this assurance that you were going to be okay, that you were part of this greater thing, that you were part of this culture that really meant something, that you were making a difference. And at any moment, snap, you could be axed.
Before 2020, people were interested in the tech industry just because, the high pay, prestige. I think just seeing it as different, right? You have all these traditional companies, and then you have all these companies that are just doing things different. And they look like kind of the future of work. People thought it was going to be a huge shift towards these fun environments and flexible environments and places where they put employees first. Now that's sort of shifted, and you think, well, these aren't too much different than these older traditional companies that people were already working at in the early 2000s.
The tech industry as a whole has...
Okay, so yeah, this is the opening. Let's actually get to the actual AI part. All right, I guess it's probably right here. Start the AI layoffs. Yeah, let's go here.
COVID-19 began. The economy initially struggled, but the tech industry thrived. The Federal Reserve's swift actions, such as cutting interest rates back to near zero, boosted tech stocks. This in turn led to an increase in tech jobs, primarily as people stayed home. However, tech stocks took a hit once the Fed started raising rates in 2022. So the industry started using mass layoffs as one of the many ways of belt tightening. Wall Street loved this move, reflected in the bounce in tech stocks in 2023. The tech-heavy
Okay, so yeah, as you guys can see right now, it's saying 2023, late 2023. You see a lot of these tech stocks and everything kind of going down. This is actually probably like right in the crux of me really like heavily applying to different jobs. But I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys probably already know this, probably watch some of the videos from the different job layoffs and whatnot. Well, let's continue.
NASDAQ climbed 43% in 2023, its best year since 2020.
In the pandemic, the tech industry saw some pretty big pickups in job posting gains on the Indeed platform. We saw really strong hiring. People were at home. They were consuming more of kind of these tech goods and services. And many tech companies adjusted to that and hired more workers. So we saw a big run up in 2021.
Yeah, this is so true. This is so true. I've been hearing this a lot. A lot of people kind of like when I was first kind of like introduced to trying to get into tech or trying to get into cybersecurity, like everybody seemed like you were able to get in. Like seemed like it was just so free and they were just giving out so much money. And that's kind of where we're at now. Like they were kind of like they're explaining they were hiring so many different people, constantly. It seemed like everywhere, and in remote too on top of that. And then after those year or two after COVID, and then they just start dropping people. So then it became a whole lot of people who needed a job or wanted a job, but then not that many positions opening. And then on top of this too, let me go ahead and actually zoom into myself a little bit. This is also during the time that you saw the TikToks and the Instagram reels and whatnot of day in the life where the cybersecurity people or other like workers, they're just like chilling the whole day. They may do like 1 hour of work and they're just chilling and saying they're making 100K plus, which did not help out us. Because now when these employers are seeing this video, they're like, oh, wow, we don't need to have all these people. The person only working 1 hour a week and not doing anything really much. And we're paying them 100K plus. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just freaking crazy. And they kind of, and they like those old day in the life kind of ruined it for a lot of people. But let's continue.
2022. And then in 2023, we saw some of that demand start to kind of cool down and soften. In 2024, so far, we've seen somewhat similar to 2023, some layoffs being announced. We've seen kind of a continuation of pullback in job postings in the tech industry. But again, a lot of these layoffs that we've seen so far this year in 2024 have really been about right sizing and adjusting to a world of post-COVID consumer demand and trying to figure out what does the world look like after COVID. So a lot of it really comes down to businesses making moves to really understand, where their consumers are and trying to, fit their workforces to that demand.
Now we see the stock market reacted quite favorably to this round of layoffs. We see these record stock prices for a lot of these tech companies. The investors really favored profitability, really favored this lean year that these tech companies had. And so instead of rewarding the growth that we saw and that them all pursue years ago, they're now rewarding profit. And so the layoffs have continued.
Yeah.
People have become used to them and regrettably.
Yeah. At this point, it kind of is kind of becoming, I guess, or at least maybe last year, more or less, like, you kind of just knew that, people are going to be getting laid off at XY, type of jobs, especially these big ones that were hiring a lot of people. But let's just continue even more to the AI part. Okay, is text Chinese image eroding? Okay, let's do about halfway here. I think it'll be more with like how AI is helping out with the job loss, but
happening is because stability is such a major factor in students' decision around what types of jobs they apply to and what types of jobs they accept. 77% of this recent class of 2024 cares about stability as the number one factor. And the government, for example, is an entity that provides a strong level of stability, whereas they're looking at the headlines in the news and they're paying attention to all of the layoffs that are happening in big tech. And that makes them feel unstable.
The layoff pandemic has not necessarily impacted tech the way we thought it was, largely because of the fact that these jobs still pay really well. And there's still a degree of luster. It's not nearly as exciting as it was 20 or 30 years ago, but it's still exciting. And people really want that bullet point of the resume, even if they only landed at Google for, let's say, 6 months or for a year, they can still say they worked there. I think what we're starting to see, though, ultimately, is that people are starting to consider other options, whether they're deciding that.
Yeah. Now, before he continues on the other options, I'm thinking is probably going to be, well, the first thing I've been seeing a lot of people talking about is like trying to find other fields, as in maybe something you can use with your hands, more like those type of jobs. I have seen people talking about going back to like plumbing and other trades like that, which, we actually do need a lot of. I'm not going to even lie. Also, too, within tech, I know GRC has been going kind of wild lately too on the cybersecurity side. Something that you don't necessarily need to know a whole bunch of like tech skills. I mean, not tech skills, but like software skills and the technical side of things. So yeah, that's another thing people are going to. I see degrees, so maybe he may be speaking about maybe some of these new degrees that it came out like post 2015, 2016, that may be tech adjacent. But let's go ahead and continue this.
That once they get their degrees, they're going to go create their own businesses. They're going to get in government space. They're going to get in other industries where there is a need for their technical skill set, where they can essentially be a big fish in a small pond, which in many ways gives them job security that they don't necessarily get in the tech industry.
People that are wanting to work in tech and wanting to still stay in tech, I think we just have to be a little bit more careful and a little bit more guarded about keeping our options open and not feeling the need to be extremely loyal and dedicated to one company, because they surely are not dedicated and loyal.
Yeah, and that's another thing I've been hearing about from a lot of people. Like, not necessarily just for this, like, your ability to get your job, taken away from you out of nowhere, but the way that you can actually increase your salary. Like, the fastest way, apparently, to increase your salary for most people is to job hop. So you may be getting paid, let's say, you're for like SOC analyst job in cybersecurity. Let's say you're making 65. And you want to go to maybe like a SOC 2, for example, instead of staying within the company and maybe going up maybe 10K, 10K, you can go to a completely different company and maybe make 80, 90K instead of, making 70K, added, or a SOC analyst to like another company, or maybe a whole other position. But job hopping allows you to make that, to make more money. You're not going to, for the most part, you're not going to be making those big of an increase at the same company majority of the time. So yeah, like, that's funny that you're talking about that on here, because people are losing their jobs. But if you're trying to think about like your future self and your future money, that's just something to look at as well. Also, too, not saying that necessarily you staying within the company is bad. That's not necessarily bad at all, because you may want to grow within the company. You might want to learn new things. You might want to make sure you're like 100% there. Or maybe you kind of just coasting. Maybe you like the money that you currently have and you're chilling, and you kind of just really want to grow within the company. So, hey, if that's you, hey, I'm not going to get mad at you at all on that.
To us, no matter what your manager, no matter what your director's saying, no matter what praise you're getting, it doesn't really matter sometimes at the end of the day at a lot of tech companies, unfortunately.
These layoffs have, to an extent, hurt the luster of the tech industry, but not to the point that I think that people all of a sudden are going to decide not to go work for them anymore.
True.
I mean, even when you consider the recent
True, yeah. Even with Microsoft, Facebook, Twitter, etc., having all these massive layoffs and like requiring people to come inside the job, etc. Yeah, this is not going to stop people from working for these companies. Having these on your resume is great. Having Meta, having Netflix, etc., can definitely make you go far. I've done a video talking about this too, where they like reviewed resumes, and like in 5, like pretty much like they'll do like a quick scan of the resume, and I guess unbeknownst to them, on the resume it's like bull crap. They're just writing this bull crap, not even full sentences sometimes, making jokes here and there throughout the whole resume, but they have like the big names on the company. I mean, on the resume, like you have your Facebook on there, or Meta, and you have your Netflix. I worked at Amazon for 3 years. So it's like they all just looked at the company and like your title, like, oh, wow, he worked at Amazon and he was an engineer there, and he did this at Netflix and he was an engineer. And they didn't even read anything. They were like, yeah, like, you're looking at this. Yeah, I would definitely go ahead and call them up for next interview. So yeah, having these big name companies on your resume is can definitely help you out on your future career and making money and whatnot too.
5 years ago, they couldn't wait to go to work for the big tech industry. But now they're considering things, whether I go to tech, whether I go to government, whether I go someplace else. I want to go someplace where I feel like I'm part of something bigger than myself.
Yeah, now that's also another big one too, the tech. like GovTech and things of that nature has been improving, or I guess increasing a lot. You've seen a lot of different videos of people talking about that. Shout out to Simone Bees. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. She kind of got me on game on this GovTech. Now, I wasn't able to get a GovTech job, but she has some really cool resources on that. And yeah, if you're interested in that, you should definitely check out her YouTube channel as well. But anyway, guys, I was definitely tricked on that video. I thought it would be talking about, I guess, maybe more AI on this. Maybe I got the title in my head wrong, or maybe I saw some comments on this. I thought it would be talking more about AI as well, but that's another thing that's going to be kind of popping up. I'm pretty sure soon on a lot more of these videos talking about, oh, AI took my job, or I think AI is going to take my job. So yeah, I'm definitely intrigued on that. Guys, in the comments, let me know if you guys have been recently laid off, or has been, laid off in 2023, 2022. Were you able to get a job and right after COVID, were you able to work remote? I'm definitely intrigued to hear your guys' thoughts, and I'm pretty sure everybody else is, so we can kind of get like a consistent, oh my gosh, can't even talk today, a consensus of kind of where everybody is at so far on that. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.